Hi, my name is Dana Sanneman. I'm the Executive Director of Public Affairs at Mount Sinai South Nassau. Thank you for joining us today. I'm happy to be here with two of our registered dietitians, Shamari and Erin. They're joining us today to help everyone transition back into school. A lot of us for the past 6 months have been home. We haven't been in a routine. We may find ourselves overeating. And now that we're talking about going back to school in the next couple of weeks, I wanted everyone to have an opportunity to think about ways they can get their kids back into a routine and healthy eating habits. So I asked the two dietitians here today to show us what some healthy options are for back to school eating, what correct portion sizes are, and help you think about different ways you can be creative with your kids with eating. So these past 6 months, we all know have been stressful. It's been stressful on families, stressful on our kids. Our kids have been home from school. Why do we tend, Erin, to overeat when we're under stress?
Well, when our bodies are under stress, we produce a stress hormone called cortisol. And cortisol can trigger cravings for salty, sweet, and fried foods. And these are typically the foods that give us pleasure when we're eating them to help to temporarily relieve the stress that we're feeling. But when you find yourself giving into these cravings, you often are going to mindlessly overeat because you're eating to try to cope with your stress rather than eating to try to nourish your body. But it's important during these times to focus on the healthier options because when we eat better, we feel better.
And those triggers that you talked about, are they the same in kids as they are in adults?
Yes, they are.
So kids will also tend to overeat or eat salty, sugary foods when they're stressed out as well.
Yeah, and they're less likely to choose a healthier option too because of those cravings.
Got it. So Shamari, August is Kids Eat Right Month. What does that mean?
So Kids Eat Right Month is created by the Nutrition of Dietetics, or a governing body, and it's just a month to take the time to bring emphasis on kids and family and to encourage healthy eating. The kids are our future. And also, we have a big a health disease of childhood obesity, and this is a great way to be preventive about it by teaching our kids early on how to eat healthy and to just connect that with a healthy lifestyle.
And why should healthy eating be part of our daily routine as much as it is to brush your teeth? Why should healthy eating be part of your daily routine?
So when you eat a healthy routine, right, it helps set you up for success. So take, for instance, like kids going to school. We want to send them start with a good hearty breakfast to provide them with the energy so they're able to concentrate and be successful in life and in school and focus. So you just want, and you also want to create a routine around that. You know, keep their breakfast time around the same and I know structure and routine is a lot of, now with the unprecedented time that we're going through. So it's just good to try to keep that going, whether they're in the home, learning online, or in school. Just keep things consistent for them and start their day off healthy and strong so you set them up for success.
Got it. So adding to the anxiety of parents and actually going back to school is getting into a routine of packing lunch. And every school district is different, but parents are now faced with the reality that a lot of schools are not going to have a full cafeteria. So you're not sending your kids to school necessarily with lunch money, you're packing it all at home. So we kind of laid out some options for here, and I just want to ask Erin to help us think about how to plan a successful lunch and what are some options we have here.
Yeah, well, I think to start for success, you need to have a better understanding of your child's school reopening plan, if they are going to be having the cafeteria open, or if your child is going to have lunch in the classroom. Because if they are going to be having lunch in the classroom, it's important to pay attention to the different allergies that another student might have or that your child has. I know a common allergy amongst kids is a peanut allergy. So if you do have to pack a peanut-free lunch, but your child really enjoys peanut butter, almond butter is a good substitution. But if you need to go totally nut-free, you can try sunflower butter or sun butter. And sun butter actually has one third less saturated fat compared to commercial peanut butter while having the same amount of protein. So it's a good substitution.
And what if my kids are, can't do it, can't do the sunflower butter? What are different options other than the peanut butter and jelly? What are other healthy food choices we can have for lunch?
I feel like you could definitely have like cheese sticks or yogurt because you want to make sure you're getting protein with your lunch so that way your kid feels more full throughout the day. You want to make sure that you're having foods from all the different food groups.
And hot foods are okay too. We can pack a chicken or a pasta. That's okay to pack too?
Yeah, it's okay. And also, I understand that sometimes it could be difficult to get to the grocery store nowadays. So planning for success can also mean buying foods that are more shelf stable. Like for example, here we do have the fresh fruit. We have like the apple, orange, banana, potato, but we also have dried fruit here, which is a great alternative to fresh fruit, and it can last longer than the produce. And we also have like some trail mixes over here too, which are a good alternative, but you just need to be mindful of any nut allergies just in case. And then another good, helpful, shelf-stable protein is canned beans, which we also have here, which are labeled as low sodium. It's always important to get the low sodium option when you're looking for canned foods.
So even if it's in the grocery store and it's pre-packaged, it's not a bad thing, because we do need things like you're saying, if you can't get to the grocery store, that can stay in our house and also be a good, healthy alternative.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And
Yeah,
just
go
to
ahead.
add to that, in deciding whether it's a healthy alternative or not, you just want to make sure you read the food label. Like that's how you're going to be able to differentiate and know exactly what's in that food and make that choice between the healthier version.
Right. So I know a lot of us are guilty of this. We're home all day. We're not sitting at the table, and we're grazing a lot. So we kind of lose track of what a portion is if you're just opening a bag of chips and eating it. So equally as healthy as choosing healthy foods is putting our portion sizes together.
Yes.
So give us some idea of what a healthy portion is and what we should be thinking about, different containers or packages when we're packing lunch.
Okay. So the portion size is going to be different for age groups. So normally, typically for kids, younger kids, toddlers, it's going to be about, for fruits and vegetables, it's going to be about half a cup, and this is about quarter cup. This is what about quarter cup look like. For a little older kids, it will generally be about half a cup, and for adults, generally it's 1 cup. Now, keep in mind that fruits and vegetable, it's recommended to have three servings a day. So it doesn't mean just this; it's just 1 serving for a child. Oh, and then in terms of with the protein. So generally, it's also like the palm rule. We aim for younger kids, it's 1 ounce, and the little older kids, 2 ounces, and adults generally 3 to 4 ounces. And this is around 3 to 4 ounces,
3
right?
ounces, yeah.
So, and normally, like for us, it's normally like a serving size is kind of like what fit in your palm. So it's like kids are smaller, so their palm. So that's kind of a good range if you don't use serving size, like cups often. And then in terms of, what else? This is also like we have the fresh fruit. So a apple a day, that's generally fine. If your baby, again, it's small and you're packing for school, you generally have to cut it up anyway.
Like some of these berries we have.
So you would generally have to like cut it up and make sure it's small.
And for dairy, the serving size for all the age groups is 8 ounces, which is 1 cup. And we do have different kinds of milks over here. We have fat-free milk, low-fat, and whole milk. And it's important to note that even though the milks have different fat and protein contents, they all have the same amount of calcium, which is important for our kids to have strong bones.
Okay. And then, can we mention this now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And then in terms of, so we want to, part of making healthy choices, we want our kids to get their sweets from the fruits and vegetables, not stuff like soda. So just to bring an awareness is that this can of soda has this amount of sugar in it, okay, right? And I don't know if you've ever watched kids from just being their normal self and then you give them like sugar or juice and they just transform and can't control themselves, which you can imagine how this would be problematic with a kid in school or even trying to focus, whether it's online school or being in person. That would be difficult for them. And part of our roles as parents, we do want to set them up for success.
Show that again, how much sugar is in that. I don't think you held that up
like-
long enough. That much sugar. Look at that.
That's, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but if your child does drink a lot of soda and they don't just want to have regular plain water, you can flavor the water with fresh
their-
fruits, and you can cut up the fruit to get more of the flavor in the water.
Right.
So it's a healthy flavored alternative compared to soda.
Right. And give your kid a water bottle to go with school. It's always a good practice just to have a water bottle on them.
Right, great. So many of our kids are picky eaters, so this will take a little bit of time. But what tips can you recommend in getting kids involved in making their own healthy eating choices, Erin?
I feel like that could start with meal planning and making the grocery list, having your kid involved in what meals they're going to be having for the next week, or if you can't get to the grocery store for the next 2 weeks. And I understand a lot of grocery stores are limiting the amount of people they want to have in at one time, and they're recommending for only one member of the household to be in the grocery store at one time. So if your kid can't actually go into the store with you, it's a good option to at least make the list with them so they know what options they're going to have, what to expect for meals, and it can just get them more involved. And another way to help with picky eating is to plan meal times together. Serving your meal family style, meaning you have all your plates set up, but the food is in the middle and dishes ready to be served onto your plate. That can lead the parent to be the example and show the kid that they're making their own healthy plate. It can let the kid be empowered to take their own serving size to try the food that they want to try.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But going back to picky eating, it's important to always reintroduce foods to your kids, even if they decline it the first time. It can take up to 10 taste tests for a kid's taste buds to actually start accepting a new food.
Wow.
So even if they deny it right away, it's important to always reintroduce it, just knowing that their taste buds are going to change.
Wow, that's a great suggestion. Thank
And
you.
give them multiple healthy options at once. So again, like give them 3 fruits to choose from. Kids, like, you know, at that age, they want to do things for themselves. They want to feel empowered. So that's another way to get them involved. You give them different options so they feel like they're making the decisions.
So talk to us a little bit more about that mindful eating. And this is a good tip for adults and kids. What kind of what role does meal planning have in mindful eating?
So mindful eating is about like you're preparing ahead, and then you're being also like present in the moment. So it could start as early as when you start grocery shopping. You're paying attention, you're writing your list, what you want to buy, and the type of foods you want to prepare for your family. And then, as you mentioned, a lot of us are home, moms are working, you're busy, so you're multitasking all the time. So you can easily like multitask while you're eating, and then that's the opposite of mindful eating. So mindful eating is like setting a time, setting meal time, or creating that routine where I have lunch at 12 o'clock.
Right.
And then that sets you up also, you don't get so hungry that you're grabbing for the unhealthy snacks. And this gives you time to check in with your body. Am I hungry or am I bored and then I'm grabbing for something? Am I sad right now and that's why I'm grabbing for food? And so it's just a way to pick up the cues in your body. Also, another thing that a lot of people mistake thirst for hunger. So it's just a way to be in tune with your body and then learning how to like nourish your body. So, okay, you are hungry. So then when you're going to grab, you look at the food choices and it's like, that food, it's going to taste good right away and I'm going to get like a burst. But is it going to support my goal? Am I going to feel full? Am I going to feel, like energized from it? Am I going to be proud of myself when I'm done eating it? Or am I going to have guilt? I'm going to feel lethargic and I'm going to feel like stuffed and just weighed down. And so that's also ways to check in with yourself and to get yourself back on track and to stick to your health goals. And then it's just and also in terms of the family and kids, mindful eating is just like, how do you even want your child to behave or things that you want to teach them? And that starts with the grocery list, what you bring into the house. And
so in this mindful eating plan, I know that you're setting times for lunch and dinner. Does that mean that I can't snack? Am I able to snack in between if I am hungry?
So mindful eating is body cues, right? And that's the big part. It's kind of like an intuitive eating type of thing. So you're eating when you're hungry. So if you're hungry, you absolutely eat. It's just a way to make sure, are you hungry or are you bored and you see a commercial on TV and you're just like stuffing your face?
Right.
So it's kind of just being present in the moment. And again, if you planned mindfully, then you're most likely going to have healthy snacks options to pull from when you do have those days. And also, it's not so much, we don't want to go bad and good food. So it's just like mindful eating is just to be aware, like it's not that you can't have a chocolate or a cookie, right? But if you mindful eating, you could combine it with healthier versions, or you're aware of going back to the serving size, so you're not overindulging, and then feel horrible about it later.
Right. Yeah, that's great advice. What role, Erin? What role can exercise play in mindful eating? Again, a lot of us are not in a routine, so we're spending a lot of time, family movie nights and stretches of Netflix binging. But how important is it to keep your mind, while your mind's moving and thinking about these things, to keep your body moving as well?
It's very important. They go hand in hand. So when we're exercising, our body produces endorphins, and these endorphins can help to boost our mood and to also lower our stress. And when we're having less stress, we're less likely to mindlessly eat and more likely to mindfully eat, like Shamari was just talking about. So, and also when we're exercising, you can start using food as fuel for performance. So you would just in time just be picking the healthier options that are going to help you exercise better and help you feel better, rather than taking the unhealthier options that are going to slow you down throughout the day and during your exercise.
So I'm assuming if we're setting a good example for our kids in what we're eating, how important is it then for parents to also set a good example for exercise?
Yes.
Very important. You can even like make it a family affair. Like after you have your meal together, you can all go on a family walk afterwards, and just to keep exercise a part of the routine, just like healthy eating.
Great.
And YouTube have some awesome videos now, and it's like mommy and me exercise. They have kids yoga, and it's like a Disney princess that's like leading the workout, so it's like
Right.
kids friendly. And I know these works because my kid, like, she does it with me. Kids, like, they show it, right? Kids, they mimic us all the time. It's not so much what we say, and so that's a great way to model for our kids and get them involved.
So I just want to remind everybody that we are continuing our discussion here, but please send in your questions. We will be taking questions from the Facebook audience, and afterward you can still send questions in on the Facebook feed. So feel free to send your questions in. So just to wrap up a little bit here, I know you did bring an example of what a healthy plate can look like. So I just want to show everybody, this is a good for kids. You know, they have the bento boxes where you can really divide portions. It really is important. I just want Erin and Shamari to explain to us what this could look like.
Yeah, so this is something called My Plate, and you can get a lot more information if you go to choosemyplate.gov. But this is just an example of what a healthy plate should look like. It should be half fruits and vegetables, 1/4 grain, and 1/4 protein. And it's important to always have a wide variety of fruits and vegetables of different colors, different types. So this can help to ensure that you're getting a variety of vitamins and minerals in your diet. And it's important to vary the types of protein that you're getting. Rather than just always having like a meat-based protein, you could switch it up and have eggs or beans, nuts. And then lastly, just for grains, it's important to make at least half of your grains whole, because that's a better option and there's more fiber, so you'll get more satisfaction out of your meal than if you just had refined grains.
And this is how I know a big question with parents, it's like, will my kid be full? This is how you maintain that full and satiety feeling. It's when you're eating from all the food groups, because they complement each other.
Got it.
So too much of one thing, not good. So just try to keep a variety of things. And that way, you, as Erin mentioned, you eat the rainbow, and then normally you're getting you won't have deficiencies, and you'll be meeting all the needs of your body.
So these tips that we discussed today, healthy eating and exercise, overall, will they help reduce our stress level? Are we going to start these routines and just start to calm a little bit rather than getting anxiety about going back to school and resuming routines?
So when you're making changes, right, it's very important to take things one step at a time. So don't just jump in. You make one little changes at a time. That's more manageable, and you don't want to add further stress and overwhelm yourself. So it definitely will help in the long run. But you do want to take your time and do simple exchanges at a time. Also for kids, you don't want to overwhelm them. Little baby steps. And if you do need help, this is a time where there's a lot of help and support available. You can reach out to mental health professionals, like if you see that you're overeating and you're facing like emotional issues. And then you're always free to work with an outpatient dietitian. We're always available to work with you to help, review what you're eating and help you make changes. So you're not alone. That's the most important thing. You're not alone. You have a lot of support to make changes towards a healthier lifestyle.
Great. And South Nassau has all of these resources available on our website at southnassau.org. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to be with us today. I'd like to thank Erin and Shamari for sharing their insight and for bringing this healthy table of food choices and portions. Again, if you have any questions, you can put them in our Facebook feed or check on our website. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Happy back to school.